What's going on, everybody? This is Moto Money. Today I'm coming to you with a little bit of a different type of video. Normally I'm on here discussing personal finance. Today my video is going to be about motorcycles, baby. And this video is going to be called What to Expect Your First Time Ever on a Motorcycle. And I feel like this is a good time for me to make this video because I'm still pretty new to riding motorcycles, and I can still remember all those first sort of feelings, some of those things that nobody told me about. So when I felt them for the first time, I was like, oh, okay. Quick disclaimer, before I ever got on a motorcycle, I had actually ridden scooters around quite a bit. So while being on a motorcycle was new, I was already kind of used to being on two wheels. But still, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's different about being on a motorcycle than being on really anything else. So today we're gonna go over all that. Stick around. Okay, so right off the bat, the first thing you will probably realize about getting on a motorcycle for the first time is the weight. Needless to say, this is no bicycle. The first time you stand up your bike, it's probably gonna be a bit of a shock to your legs. Even me coming from a scooter that probably weighed a little under 400 pounds, it was still a huge difference setting foot on this. Now, one thing I will say is what type of first motorcycle you get will definitely play into how much it affects you. For example, I might feel this more than some people because my first bike is a Harley Sportster. So A, it's a cruiser, and B, it's a Harley, so it's got a whole crap ton of metal parts. If you went for something like the Yamaha MT-03, that's a hyper naked bike, and it's been stripped down to the bare minimum, weight might not be something you notice as much. But the fact remains, this ain't no bicycle. Okay, now the second thing you're gonna notice, and this one's gonna sound kind of ridiculous and obvious, similar to the weight one. The second thing you will notice is just how loud these things are. Again, this is gonna vary bike by bike. I'm riding a Harley, these are air cooled. It's gonna be a lot louder than something that's liquid cooled. But even when I was first looking at bikes and I went to the dealership, I had them start up a Honda Rebel 500 and I was like, whoa, that is no scooter. It's crazy because even when you're driving by motorcycles on the road, you might sometimes hear that they're loud, but it kind of just passes you by in a second. You don't really realize it. But it's a way different feeling when you're first sitting on a motorcycle and it turns over and starts roaring. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard this bike, I got intimidated. I had the guy start it up for me. I was like, whoa, hold on now. This thing is no joke. But over time, as you get familiar with your bike, the sound starts to scare you less and it becomes this welcomed rumble. When you hear that noise, you know you're about to have a good time. Alright, so we covered the weight, the noise. Third thing you will realize after your first time riding a motorcycle is how much coordination goes into riding. I mean, when you watch movies or you see someone riding down the street, you kind of just assume in your mind, oh, these guys crank the throttle like this and they just move, that's it. But even with what I'm doing right here, slowing down, there's a lot of timing and finely tuned movements. Of course you can just pull the throttle like this and go faster, but it's the other things, the shifting, the clutch control. There's a lot of things that take a whole bunch of time to master, and I'm not even close to that. Alright, check this out. What you just witnessed there is the next thing we're going to talk about. The next thing you will learn your first times riding your bike is the camaraderie. You will realize that almost everyone who rides a motorcycle is part of a brotherhood. When you see another motorcycle rider riding past you, you give them a little upside down wave or peace sign. There's a mutual understanding for the love of the ride. Again, guys, I'm pretty new to this stuff. See that? It's amazing, really. Because when you're on the open road like this, you know you got brothers out there looking out for you. It's a beautiful thing, it really is. Alright, let's go back to some of the mechanics. One thing a new rider will probably be surprised about is how turning works. Man, you would think turning would be so easy, right? It's like you want to go right, you turn the handlebars right. To an extent, yes, that's the truth. But there's so much more that goes into it. And this plays back into the level of coordination that you have to develop. Every road is different, every turn is different. And while riding, you'll have to decide what's the best course of action for you. Some turns you can just roll right through, others you got to get a little bit lower. Sometimes you have to use what's known as counter steering, or if you're in tight spaces, you got to wiggle your butt around to counterbalance. Again, guys, there's a whole bunch of techniques that come along with time and practice. Alright guys, the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video, the last thing a noob like me would know to expect about riding is just how freaking fun it is. If you watch this channel, you know I am all about being free. I mean, I guess that's kind of obvious, especially considering the whole reason I started this channel in the first place was to help people get on track to becoming financially free. But guys, I don't think I can really describe the feeling of riding, especially on these long open roads, and you're just cruising by, getting the wind on your chest on a beautiful day like today. I mean, the feeling's unmatched. There's something so therapeutic about being out on these roads, getting to experience all these trees, and just cruising along. It feels almost like meditation. I'm just becoming one. Oh man, guys, I mean, the views really don't get much better than this. So awesome. And that's the thing, this is really what life's about, you know? Everybody's got a limited time on this planet, so it's important to really get outside and do things you love. I've wanted to ride motorcycles since I was a little kid, and my uncle lived in a different country. Check it out, we got some camaraderie. So every summer, when we would go to visit my dad's side of the family, I would beg my uncle to let me ride on the back of his motorcycle. He would get so annoyed, but I would beg him every single day. He would usually make me wait till the very last day I was there. But guys, the feeling was so fun. So before I end this video, there is one more thing that you should consider as a new rider. It's the absolute most important, and that is that there's many things that can go wrong on a bike. Here we got someone. You're not just riding around in a portable room like a car. You're completely exposed to the open elements and even more prone to the dangers of being out on the street. It's so important to stay very cautious and drive defensively to avoid crazy other drivers, potholes, animals that run out into the middle of the street. There's a lot of stuff to stay vigilant about. Anyways, guys, I really hope you loved this video, and I'd highly encourage any of you to subscribe or at least leave a thumbs up. I really take my time with these videos to make sure that they come out the best they can, so any support is highly appreciated. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!